Thanks for locking in with 77 Flavors of Chicago. We're your hosts, Dario.
And I'm Sarah, and I hope you're ready to learn with us.
Yeah, buddy. Today we're talking about the Battle of Fort Dearborn in detail, y'all.
Yeah.
In detail. This is, doing this research, amazing. Like, once you actually, pay attention to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is interesting. It is. It's interesting.
It is
so,
interesting.
I'll get to the rest of it later. But what's going on? How you doing? How y'all doing? That's
Cool,
good.
cool,
That's
cool.
good. That's good. Y'all should be happy that we give y'all that space right there.
Wow. Men love to do that shit.
No.
Men are like, you better be happy. I'll give you the bare minimum.
No, don't lump me in with men love to do that shit.
You're right. You're the exception, if I'm being honest. You're truly the exception.
You know, I'd be trying out here. But how you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's almost my birthday.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, this is a week away.
I really try to not talk about it too much because people are like, Leos love to talk about I love my birthday. I love talking about my birthday. I also love myself and I love talking about myself. Yeah. So really the two just align so perfectly.
I'd be having a hard time with that damn Leo this, Cancer that, Aries that bullshit can get the hell on.
You just offended so many people.
And y'all can get the hell on with that.
Here's the thing. You don't have to like it, but you don't need to shit on it.
But it don't matter.
To you.
To anything.
To you.
It don't matter to anything.
So for example, sports doesn't really matter to me.
Okay,
cool. But you get extremely offended anytime I shit on it.
Sports is a tangible thing, though.
So is astrology.
Astrology is not.
For a lot of people, it is.
It's not tangible.
Okay, but
I could physically touch.
But here's the thing. No faith is tangible.
Oh my God, that ain't faith.
It's a form of people believe in things. Let people believe in things.
I believe the children, but no.
Here's the thing. I've never met someone that believes in astrology that was like an evil person. Personally,
most people are.
Okay. I'm just saying. It's
I'm
not
being
like
divisive. Somebody just clicked this shit off.
Yeah, someone was like, "Fuck this podcast." I'm just saying it's not one of those belief systems that imposes on other people or anything like that. It's true. It's mostly just fun.
I get you that, but it's goofy fun.
So is watching the Cubs lose.
Wow,
see look at you. Wow. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying.
No, because that's a tangible thing. I got memories attached to the Cubs. The thing, astrology is changed literally every day.
So Star Wars is also dumb.
It's a movie. That's a tangible thing, even though it's a make-believe movie.
But for a lot of people, astrology feels tangible.
Where can you go and
you look in the stars and it's
be like,
right
oh
there.
Damn, that's that little plot of shit. That's a Leo. And
listen,
you know what that means
here's
to me?
Here's the thing. For some people might not know this, but Arabs are very spiritual and they're very much into witchcraft. This might not be very common knowledge. So if you don't know, slight tangent. When religions came to certain areas in the world, they allowed the people, in order to convince you to convert to their religion, they're like, you can keep some of your original beliefs, right? So in Mexico, you have the Day of the Dead is kept, and that's not a Christianity belief. That is what the natives part of that religion. For the Arabs, it was the same. Very heavy in witchcraft, very heavy in astrology, heavy in tapping into the other dimensions that existed in the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very, very common. So realistically, it is against Christianity and Islam, right? Mm-hmm. But when Islam came, they were like, you can keep that, but we use it as God protects against the evil eye. But the evil eye isn't a religious thing. It's a spiritual thing. That is astrology is one of those things. I mean, so many non-book faith religions believed in astrology and used the stars to predict what was going to happen in the seasons and in farming and blah blah. That's where it started from. So
I still don't like it.
You don't have to like it.
No. It's just, you know what it is. You know what I don't like about it. It's the people nowadays that be using it to tell you your personality. Where the fuck that come from in astrology? You know what I mean? Where did that part come from?
What you mean?
What you mean? You know what I mean? People use that to tell. Let's get off. Actually, this ties in perfectly to today's conversation. Actually, because there's a part that I'm a mention if you don't do it.
I also think you're judging it, and you've never in-depth researched what it is. You don't have to believe in it. You never when your parents had intimate moments to have you has nothing to do with your personality, right?
Right, but that's what I'm saying. People be using it.
But like, if you want to approach it logically, like, yeah, it doesn't matter when your parents
Right, none of that
made
matter.
you.
None
right?
of that matter.
To like, that wouldn't have predicted your personality. But also, I mean, my mom religiously follows astrology. She watches she buys books on it.
We spent 5 minutes on this.
I'm just saying.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just like this.
Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean you need to shit on it. Is
no,
what I'm saying.
that's how things work.
No, that's not how things work. Actually,
that's how shit go.
No.
That's not y'all. That's not how I function.
Yeah.
But I will say,
you just like to be problematic.
no. No. I'm just saying, it's just y'all know. Somebody know what I'm talking about. The astrology be getting on my nerves though. Y'all be coming up in here.
That's because people keep telling you cancers are dramatic.
No. All them anything. Even that they just be saying like Leo's the toughest people. You know what I mean?
And we are.
And Leo's. I'll bust y'all ass, Leo's.
Wow.
Ain't nobody.
So what you're saying is you like to beat my ass?
Look at you. Look at you take that far left. Anyway.
That's literally what you just said.
No. I was mainly talking to the dudes out there that think they tough. And hurry up, pick that up. Damn.
You're so disrespectful.
No. She was trying to get this.
All the treats fell on the floor.
Let him eat it then.
He's on his way. Don't you worry.
He said, huh?
Smell them.
Anyway, well, I'm glad that's how you're doing.
I can't stand you.
You see how I feel. This is how I feel.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Are you excited for my birthday?
Yeah. Back to how I feel. No, I'm excited for your birthday. But like for me, I was about to say, I'm like, I'm going through this moment, y'all, where like I pre-ordered my goddamn camera. That shit still ain't here. Granted, it says it's supposed to be on the 20th.
Yeah, so I don't know why.
But see, here's why I'm feeling the way. I've been seeing people online get it early.
Yeah, but it's like influencers with hundreds of thousands of followers.
Right. So, however, not just. There's been other people. This one dude came out and said, I'm just a hobbyist. He's like, I went to my local store. They had it. I got it. I ain't gonna out them. So a lot of people been getting it and outed. And I'm just trying to say, I'm not gonna out my source. I'm not gonna do that. But like, if they got it, y'all better send it to your boy.
I mean, I'm sure they want you to have it.
No. I want it now. Is what I'm saying. Other people got it now. I feel like if there was an embargo until the 20th, nobody should have got it. But like these are handshake deals. These are under the table for even regular people. Now I need my local source to be that kind of person because you know what I'm saying. Give me the shit early. If other people do, and it's not like a one-off here, one-off there. It's a lot of people that got it early. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That like it be.
So would you say you feel emotional about other people getting it early and you not getting it early?
Yeah, I do feel a way. I said I feel a way, and don't tie this back to no goofy ass astrology bullshit like this, because that ain't got nothing to do with it. I'm just saying logically, if you had, all right, let me put it to you like this: if there was something that you wanted, right, and somebody said, nah, you got to wait till XYZ day.
I mean, yeah,
right?
I know I would be.
Right. Yeah. After you, here's the thing. Normally, when you pre-order something, right, you put some down, right, and they don't take the money, right. It's like a hold on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then it like when it's shipped, that's when they start. They charge you officially. My money was taken.
Yeah, but you went in and paid for it.
It don't matter. They took my money,
but they didn't have to.
But a lot of times that constitutes a purchase, right? Like, so if there was an embargo, and I know this because that's how, when I was at Best Buy, that's how shit work. And like, pre-orders big at AT&T is probably a better example. But when you pre-order the phone, that charge didn't go through. We used to tell people the charge don't go through until that phone, like the Apple, until it goes through. You know what I'm saying? It just kind of sit there.
But that's not applicable here because
it don't matter. It's a pre-order. Yes, it does applicable.
No, but them taking the money doesn't mean it's shipped. Is what
exactly. It means I purchased it. Is what I'm saying. Right. Exactly. That's exactly. So that's why I'm saying technically you shouldn't have ever even let me purchase it. You know what I'm saying? I bought it. I got it.
They gonna take your money.
You just
no. I know, but they're not gonna say no.
Exactly. So my point is that
I'm agreeing
with
because
you let me do it. Because you let me do it, I should get it early. You know what I'm saying? I should get it. You know what I mean? Because
what if they just don't?
That's between. That's true. That's between you and Canon. Y'all work out y'all penalties and fines for doing that. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
It's possible that they don't have it yet.
Again, what I'm saying is when you do get that shit, I better receive that phone call if it's before the 20th.
Sure.
I'm just thirsty, y'all. That's all it is. I'm just thirsty.
And you just talked about that for 5 minutes.
Well, you talked about stars and shit for 5 minutes, so it's only fair. At least I talked about something tangible. You can't touch a star, period. So I could touch that camera.
But you're like a man of faith. I don't know how you're like disagreeing that like people can believe in things that are not tangible.
No. I believe in that. I just don't like astrology. It's point blank. Period. That's it. I just fuck that should get on my nerves.
That's such a strong opinion about something so.
I mean, you be bashing the Cubs anytime. You don't even know what's going on.
No, I don't bash the Cubs.
Now, come on now.
Y'all,
let's run the tape back.
No, but that was to prove a point.
No, yeah. No, but you be bashing the Cubs. You be bashing them just because it's trendy. You don't even know what's really going on.
That's correct.
Exactly.
I don't know.
That's irrational.
That I don't know what's happening, but I don't bash them. I'm not walking around like fuck the Cubs. I've never said that.
You slights. You be slighting.
That's not true.
You say, look at she was like, move on, y'all.
Yeah, move on. It's so dumb.
And look at you. Oh, do you feel some type of way? What the star say about that?
Nothing.
Look at you said I beat your ass as soon as this camera come up. This mic get off. Look at Campbell still searching for food. Anyway, y'all.
Unhinged.
It is unhinged. But hey, shout out to the fan mail. If you didn't know, we got fan mail now. You can chime in on this and send us a message. Shout out to the first person that sent us fan mail talking about how they couldn't listen to this in front of the kid. I'm glad that it worked out for you this time.
Yeah, for real.
I'm not gonna say the person name, even though the person said their name. Out of privacy, I don't want to do that.
I feel like we need to just be better about. Okay with innuendos, but like blatantly like cussing should be.
No,
should
man.
Be chill.
Hey, look. Maybe this we do like that person does and be like, oop, that's time to cut this off.
Yeah,
you know,
maybe we should like trigger warn before.
We did kind of trigger that.
We did.
We did kind of trigger that, flag that one because actually we didn't. We got into it early.
Anyway,
fan mail. Holler at us if you want to. You can just click the link inside this episode right here and just send us some mail. I like to hear it. Yeah. What y'all think about astrology?
But don't.
That's a hot take though. I should do that on Hot Take Tuesday.
Okay. You're gonna get
bring it on. You hear me? I ain't worried. You ain't never seen me work.
I hate your opinions about things.
Look at God, turn your mic off. That's my faith working against yours.
I'm gonna need you to I'm gonna need you to pipe all the way the fuck down. Okay, because you're actually gonna start beefing.
You're right. Yeah. that was perfect timing. Okay. I had to do that. Let's move on. I'm a comedian. All right.
Not anymore.
Actually, I am. So today I'm back on the mic today, as of this recording. Anyway. The Fort Dearborn, Battle of Fort Dearborn. This Battle of Sarah and Dario right now.
So annoying.
But Battle of Fort Dearborn. We talked about it many times on this podcast.
Never explained what it is. Mm-hmm. And I didn't imagine that it was a literal fort.
What you mean? You didn't know that?
I mean, I knew that, but what is a fort? You know what I mean?
The actual fort. You know what I mean?
Like Fort Wayne, I never imagined that it was like a fort.
Yeah.
The fort isn't there anymore, so it's really hard to envision what happened, I guess. For a better word. But we wanted to give you a little bit of history before we get into the Battle of Fort Dearborn. And it starts with the War of 1812, y'all. Mm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, this is how I understood all of these things. Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay. So 1812, the War of 1812, it lasted from June 18th, 1812 to February 17th, 1815. And it was basically the U.S. and its allies versus the U.K. and its allies. And I was really surprised to read who the allies of the U.S. were. And it kind of will be a great lead into the Battle of Fort Dearborn and how much the U.S. was a piece of shit in these battles.
So it's British.
Well, yeah, of course. Fuck the British. I'm not.
No,
they're like the OG colonizers. Yeah. I don't give a shit about them. Yeah. But the U.S. and their allies. So their allies were 4 different native tribes that were mostly in the southeast woodlands. So Alabama, Mississippi, North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia. And then one of them was Lake Ontario. So that was one of the Great Lakes tribes, and I do want to pronounce these, and I did look up the pronunciation.
Okay.
But if I mispronounce them, I'm so sorry. Okay. The first one is Choctaw, the Choctaw tribe, the Cherokee tribe.
Okay.
Can you shut up?
No, what? I'm just saying that was good to me.
This one I can't pronounce. I can't figure out where the stressor is. The Muskegee.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah.
The Muskegee. Yeah.
And Seneca.
Yeah, I don't know. How do you spell it?
Seneca.
Oh, Seneca.
Seneca.
Well, see, Seneca is a place here in Illinois.
Right.
So
yeah, so that tribe actually was near the Great Lakes. So the movement of these tribes is actually one of the most interesting thing, because a lot of these tribes, and I'm going to talk more specifically about the Potawatomi because that is more related to the Battle of Fort Dearborn.
Directly related.
They were obviously like pushed out of their native land. If you don't know that, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, so the Battle of 1812 really started because the UK wanted to expand more territories into the US, right? And the UK supported a specific confederacy of native tribes. They were 3 native tribes that created this like brotherhood, and the UK supported them, and not because they wanted to support the native tribes, but because specifically that confederacy acted against the U.S. expansion into native land. And so the Confederation, it was several thousand warriors from these native tribes that worked to unite various tribes against the colonizers from the U.S. And it was specifically when they started crossing into the Appalachian Mountains, if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Appalachian or Appalachian?
I don't know.
I've been saying Appalachian. Then remember that time we heard somebody say Appalachian? I was like, what?
Okay, well,
That was
whichever way it's pronounced. And so then the UK started constricting trade with France, and it started to impress sailors who were originally British, even though they had US citizenship. So if you were originally British, gained US citizenship, you could still be called into war to serve under the UK military, the Royal Military. And a split happened within the U.S. Obviously, we know that we've had 2 parties. You had the Democratic Republican Party, and then you had the Federalist Party. The Democratic Republicans wanted to go to war. The Federalists did not. And so the war basically happened. The Royal Navy started blockades, and the U.S. thought, hey, if we invade Canada, and that was a UK territory, if we take that over, that will be like our bargaining chip. And so they invaded between 1812 and 1814, but the UK just kept pushing back. They were not able to get into Canada. Napoleon abdicated in 1814, and so the UK took that as kind of like a bargaining to impose even more blockades, and it really just like destroyed the US economy because they couldn't do any. It just like crippled the US economy. But at the same time, the UK was struggling. There was a lot of pressure. I mean, they spent a ton of money. Obviously, they have to travel across an ocean. And so
just to take over some land that ain't theirs.
Yeah.
That's some shit.
Well, They both did.
Yeah, right. That's the interesting part about this.
That's the whole thing is this Battle of 1812 is a lot of like U.S. versus UK, but truly they're pinning tribes against each other. And it's the tale as old as time of like they're both making promises to these tribes, like if you help us, this is what you will get. And you can't promise land that's not yours, which is tale as old as time. Especially for the British, they love to do that shit. August 1814, negotiations started because both the U.S. and the UK wanted peace. They wanted to stop. The Federalists convened in Hartford. They had the Hartford Convention, and they formally said that they opposed the war. So they wanted it to stop. The British captured Washington, and then the U.S. won in Baltimore and Pittsburgh. And so the Southeast U.S. and its allies defeated the UK in certain areas. And then in early 1815, the US troops defeated stopped the UK invasion in New Orleans. And that was kind of like and it was during the signing of the treaty for peace, and then that's when that ended. Now during this whole time, there are battles happening all over
the place,
right? And so the Battle of Fort Dearborn is just one of those battles that happened during this 2 year 7 month war, right?
Yeah.
And the main Dario will talk a little bit more about who was involved in this battle and how it went down, but specifically it was the Potawatomi tribe was one of the tribes that was involved in this. And as I was like researching the history of the Potawatomi, there's so much, but it's so interesting because Jordan is, well, a lot of what we call like the greater Syria, and which is Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, is made of, it was once one country, right? Before World War I. And it's mostly tribes. People come from tribes. So I'm very familiar in terms of like the tribal system. Yeah. There's huge tribes, and within those large tribes, there's even smaller ones. And it just becomes like, your family tree, but it's in a shape of a pyramid because you just like, there's one big tribe and everyone comes from that. Yeah. So as I was doing this research, this felt kind of similar to that. And so the Potawatomi are the native people of the Great Plains, Upper Mississippi, and the West Great Lakes. And they are members of the Algonquin family, right? So that's where I was like, oh, that feels similar because you have like one big family, and then from that comes multiple things. But they were originally, there were 3 different tribes that were believed to be one that then like broke off into what is called the Council of Three Fires. And the stories tell that, or like the oral traditions suggest that at some point the Potawatomi, I can't pronounce this one, Ojibwe, and the Ottawa were one people and living in one area, and then they were split into 3 groups. The Potawatomi became what is called keepers of the sacred fire, and they refer to themselves as the true people. Right. And in the 1830s, the federal government removed most of them from their lands east of the Mississippi River. And first they started off with Kansas, and then Nebraska and Oklahoma. And a lot of them stayed in the Great Lakes or were able to stay. Obviously, now they are recognized and protected, but for a very long time they were not. Yeah. And even as far back as the 1600s, when is it Jean Nicolet? Is that the name? Arrived at Green Bay in 1634. John, yeah, French. Nicolet arrived at Green Bay in 1634. He met a few of the Potawatomi there, which at the time they lived in Michigan, so they must have just been there for visiting. Like they were just visiting Wisconsin, so they weren't technically living in that area just yet. And between the 1640s and 1650s, when the tribes in upstate New York, the tribes throughout the Great Lakes started to do a lot of the fur trade, right? And so they started kind of to settle here. Yeah. But that's a very brief history of how they moved and what happened and who they were. Now it's kind about 15,000 acres in Forest County, and Wisconsin is the Potawatomi Reserve today.
So that's like a perfect like setup to give you like a preamble as to why this battle is significant. Like Sarah said, a lot of shit going on all over the country at this point. Well, mainly the Midwest to the east. Yeah. Like, cause like these natives are being pushed west. Every time a battle happens, they got to move west. They keep on moving west, right? Yeah. And people that's already here now it's like exponentially like getting more and more people that's got to also move. So like the people that moved all the way from the East Coast is now here in the Midwest. And then this battle happens. Now all those people got to move to the further west to the tribes that's already there. Right. You know what I'm saying? So like you got that going on. So just a little bit more preamble. My story is going to be kind of like in between that little micro story that Sarah was talking about. So the preamble to it is,
and there's like so much history, by the way. It was really hard to like narrow down, and like even the Battle of 1812. it's 2.5 years. Like, it's so hard to just be like, here's a quick 10-minute snippet. So
Yeah.
you
But
know.
this is specifically, let's talk about Battle of Fort Dearborn. This is crazy. So Fort Dearborn was built in actually 1803, finished 1804. And then this was, again, already problematic. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause you got treaties and things that have been happening that, you know, are saying, hey, look, this is our land. This is what we're going to give you. This is what you get. This is what you get. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All that is happening while this is being built, kind of, selfish, not kind of, very selfishly, because, like, there's a battle between the Brits and the U.S., both of them battling, but also trying to, like, smooth over and cheat the natives. 1810, and this is a key name here, one of the key names. 1810, because he kind of is the reason why this shit happened. Captain Nathan Held was restationed from Fort Wayne.
Oh, wow.
So he was restationed from Fort Wayne, Indiana, and he did not like that. He was like, man, I ain't trying to go to, this new Fort Dearborn. I'm here. Why am I got to move? So he actually moved to Kentucky. Where he met another general, Samuel Wells, and they both came back here 1811 to kind of like take over this, what's going on here up north, right? But keep in mind, Captain Held, was the new captain of Fort Dearborn, because at the time, the guy that was there was kind of like messing up all the quote unquote treaties and things that was happening. So they kicked him out and replaced him. So keep in mind, battle's still going, right? So these are still going. Now, 1812, here's where it gets crazy with specifically this. What had happened was is that the British, they tried to ally with, the natives against the U.S.
Right.
Obviously selling pipe dreams, right? You know what I mean? Like, just spinning the situation so they can have more people, especially native people, as I slob right there. What the hell is that? As more people that's in the area that know, right?
Right. Because so here's the thing, like the native people that lived in that area knew how to work the waterways. They knew the paths. They knew they knew how to
lay
the land,
yeah,
right?
They knew the land.
And so, like, as the British didn't know shit about what was going on. So like, you needed someone that was from the land to be able to not lead your troops, but like, because they would never probably give them that much power, but to kind of guide your troops. And I mean, colonizers have constantly used native people to do that. Who did we, Joliet and what's his name? When they came down and they wanted to learn Marquette, they found native people and they led them through
the water. They led
the waterways.
They ain't find none. But all right, so April 6th, 1812, what happened was the British had told some of the natives where some Americans were. And so the group of Winnebago natives, which consisted of bunch of tribes, right? Several different tribes. They all went and killed all the people there. It wasn't a lot, but they killed them. It was like, hey, we got some plot of land. That happened. Fun fact, that happened at Hardscrabble, what this section they call Hardscrabble. And Hardscrabble is today's Bridgeport.
Oh.
Yeah. So that battle happened in Bridgeport. Now that I'm gonna say that's an immediate preamble. Obviously, y'all, that's not the preamble to this. Obviously, what we talking about is the whole preamble. But so what happened there kind of led to the remaining troops and people, civilians and everything that were there in Hardscrabble. Captain Held said, hey, come on, we'll take you to Fort Dearborn. Fort Dearborn didn't have a lot of people. They didn't have a lot of people at all. I'm talking maybe 15 people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like 15, 20 people were in there, and they had basically limited resources, this, that, and the other, right? June 18th, the actual battle, the June 18th of that same year, 1812, the U.S. declared war on the British.
Right.
And was like, all right, yo, This is what we're gonna do.
And that's the Battle of 1812.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm
the
saying.
War of 1812.
This is that.
Yeah.
However, this is also the start of that Fort Dearborn problem.
Right.
So war started. U.S. took a L. Like a month later, they took a L. July 17th, 1812. The British had captured a fort called Fort Mackinac. Now, this was 300 miles to the north.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They had just taken that, right?
Yeah.
Word came.
So like Wisconsin?
Yeah. So word came down and was like, hey, U.S. to Captain Held, and that came, a couple weeks later. We talking July 29th. It came down to him and said, hey, we done lost this. And now, mind you, they lost that without a fight.
Right.
The United States didn't even put up a fight because, like, the British was that strong. You know what I'm saying? And along with, like, the natives in there, that was like, all right, cool. They didn't even fight. They told him, Captain Hell, hey, man, they coming your way. They might be coming your way because we done lost this. You don't have no more resources. So whatever you have, that's what you got. You should leave and go back to Indiana, Fort Wayne. You should go back there. Trust us. He did not. He got that and didn't leave. What he did was like, you know what I'm going to do? Because when he had come back up to Illinois from Kentucky, he had other people, the Miamis or Miamis. I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's spelled Miami, right? He came up with that group of people and the leader from them and basically was like, hey, look, y'all going to be our allies for what's going to happen here. Because we're going to try to talk to the Potawatomis and say, hey, we're not going to do nothing if you help us escort us back to, or the Miamis, escort us back to Fort Wayne so we can get out of here. So he met with Potawatomi leader and said, hey, look, man, here's what we're going to give you. We're going to give you everything that's remaining here, right? And this is August 14th. We're going to give you everything that's remaining here. Guns, supplies, whatever, weapons, and we're going to get out of here. Now, the Potawatomi dude told him, hey, man, don't play with me. Don't play with me because we got shooters out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know this land.
That's literally what he said.
He said it. He said it. We got people out here, and if you break this deal, it's off. Captain Held, basically didn't adhere to that. He called his bluff.
He did his
lied. He lied, right? He lied. Was like, hey, look, this is what we're gonna do. But as he was starting to leave, the night before, the 14th, Potawatomi dude sent a message to their leader, Blackbird, and was like, hey, look, this was gonna happen. He even warned him, they're coming for you if you lie. We around here. Hell didn't listen. Next morning, all accounts I read said it was early in the morning, roughly right around 9 o'clock on the 15th, August 15th, 1812. Potawatomis were set up. They camped out in the dunes. Yeah. Surrounded them. They're leaving, Hild is leaving, but like kind of lying. He ain't got all the stuff that he supposed, had, you know what I mean? And guess what happened? He got wind from Wells and said, Wells was like, hey man, they on your heels. They behind you. You be prepared for an ambush. They got you. They in the dunes and everything. He turned and saw them. Hild and his people with limited resources fired, but they fired into the middle of the Potawatomis, and that's all it took. Potawatomis was like, y'all kind of missed. We came in and they swooped and got them, right? 15 people. The Battle of Fort Dearborn, y'all, when you hear battles, right, back in these days, Battle of Fort Dearborn lasted 15 minutes. It wasn't a battle. It was an onslaught. The Potawatomis knew the land. They surrounded them, yada, 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 got them and destroyed it. Like a few days later, several weeks later or whatever, they burned it to the ground. Okay. They burned it to the ground. And that's the Battle of Fort Dearborn. It was about, not that many people died. It was like, a lot of people died, but like you would think there was it was civilians. It was a lot of it wasn't a lot of they didn't have a lot of military there. Right. You know what I mean?
So if you actually don't know where Fort Dearborn was,
that's where I was gonna go.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna go because there's significance to this. So where they were, and this is super interesting. This is very, very interesting part right here. Where they were is marked off at Michigan and Wacker. You can see the different markings literally on the ground
and London House.
Yeah, that corner, all four corners where Fort Dearborn 1 and 2 were. Okay. And Fort Dearborn 2 was built 1816.
Yeah.
Now, the battle, if you want a picture, it actually went south. According to Captain Held's paperwork and everything, it happened a mile and a half down from that Fort Dearborn location on Michigan and Wacker, which makes that happen at Michigan and Roosevelt.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So according to him, that's where it happened.
So over by the river.
By the river. Okay. And keep in mind.
Everything was by the river.
Yeah, I was about to say, keep that in mind. That Lake Michigan, actually.
Yeah.
So way down by Lake Michigan where the NEMA buildings are. Yeah. So that's where it happened. But the interesting thing is, in 1870, decades, eons later, Juliet Kinsey, a relative of John Kinsey, obviously, I think the daughter of John Kinsey, the second, not the first, John Kinsey.
Yeah.
She actually said, you know where this battle actually took place? This battle actually took place. This is why I say it's going to blow your mind. 18th and Prairie Avenue.
18th and Prairie?
Yes. She said it took place at 18th and Prairie Avenue, which, if you know, that's like a block, like a block and a half down. A little bit, it's close to.
Yeah.
But it happened down, and she said it before her death. She stated that it started by a large cottonwood tree, which stood in 18th and Prairie between there. Now, here's the crazy thing. That tree, they preserved the tree because it apparently had saplings and everything like that. This is where it gets crazy. It was preserved at the Chicago Historical Society because it was blown down in the storm 1894. And they pointed out, they said, yeah, this is, the tree, like they kind of confirmed it like years later, 20 years later after her. Yeah, this is quote unquote the tree. And it's hard to say that this is the one she was talking about. Now, 1893, a year before that, George Pullman, crazy names that we just mentioned around here. Like this story, that's why I say like this shit is crazy. George Pullman actually had a monument built right there over Prairie Avenue in 18th. Probably, I'm assuming, by his house, was like, this is, memorializes, because he wants to say this is where the battle started. Obviously, the natives that were, are like saying, nah, man, y'all trying to commemorate something, and we did what we did. Y'all telling the story wrong. You know how monuments go. Yeah. They had them take it down.
Really?
They had the monument taken down. They moved it. And then obviously John Kinsey at that time was fighting, be like, yo, keep it, keep this. And like, they like, nah, they lobbied to move it. In 1931, 1970, they protested again, was like, nah, man, take that shit down. So the only monument that you can find right now is the one actually on the Michigan Avenue Bridge in the bridge, one of the bridge towers that actually shows the Battle of the Monument. But I had no clue about the location of the actual capture of those people where they said Fort Dearborn fell, but the battle took place a mile and a half down. And not really confirmed where it took, whether it was at 18th and Prairie Avenue or at Roosevelt and Michigan Avenue. So there's some fun fact history that we should do a little bit more research and see if we can go to the Historical Society or get in touch with them somehow to at least see the tree trunk, because they've analyzed the tree trunk and said this could be the tree trunk that Juliet Kinsey was talking about. Wow. So there's a tree trunk around here, y'all, in Chicago that is from the Battle of 1812 that they have preserved, and it's not out in Chicago. And you only hear that history from here, 77 Players of Chicago. That's pretty dope.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I did want to mention who Dearborn was, because who is this person that we've named this for after kind of thing. So Henry Dearborn was a military officer, and he served under Benedict Arnold in the Revolutionary War. He also served on General Washington's staff in Virginia, and he was there when the British surrendered at Yorktown.
Oh wow,
which is kind of interesting. And I believe he died in 1829, so just a few years after the some years after the Battle of Dearborn. But yeah, he was he was the Secretary of War under Thomas Jefferson.
Also, another fun fact: they have a monument to Captain Nathan held right there on Wacker Avenue. So if you see those statues of people.
Are they statues or are they the ones that are in the tower?
No. There's an actual statue of him and a couple other militants located right there on Wacker. So, and we walked past it and be like, who are these guys? And we've seen it, and that's them. Yeah. So, which is weird. I don't want to be problematic, but do we put a monument of him up? Here's my thing, because there's a big sign that says Land of Potawatomi, right? We're your own Potawatomi land, right there. I don't know if it's still up. I know.
It is still up there.
Okay, that's up there. Now, just several hundred feet away, you have
the guy that
betrayed them. I don't know if that monument should still be up. You know what I mean? Or we should be celebrating, because he technically, if you're going from the angle of that's American history, okay. That's still bogus, but
embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. Dude was told to leave, so they didn't take that L. Yeah. You know what I mean? And also he lied.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's another topic. But if you want to go see this monument, I feel personally that is kind of problematic.
I think you should start from the Y and walk your way south. Absolutely. On Wacker, so you can learn the history from.
Or you mean east on Wacker?
No, I mean. Yeah, east on Wacker.
Yeah.
And towards the architecture center.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then hop on the boat and take the architecture tour. There you go.
Right.
Full circle Chicago history.
Man, if we were to give a tour, let's not get into. Man, we could give you some facts now, because that architecture, we can add so much flavor today. 77 flavors. We can add so much flavor today.
Yeah.
That's dope.
I love that tour. It's one of my favorites.
It was voted one of the best in the city, if not. I don't know this. I might because you talk about.
If you haven't taken the architecture tour from specifically, I've only ever taken the one from the architecture center. Mm-hmm. Those docents go through rigorous training, and every time you take it, it's a little bit different because it's what the docent chooses to talk about. Anyway, that's not what this is about. But take it; it's a fun tour.
Very fun. I was gonna say. I think it's one of the best in the country. I think.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised too. Yeah. I mean, because there's so much history on that part.
Yeah, and also if you were there wasn't This Week in Chicago History today. That's because this is what happened. It was August 15th. So that's your This Week in Chicago History. There's a couple other things, but that's the big one. There was a lot of other ones, and this is the big one.
That's the big one. Yeah, well.
Anyway, if you stayed till the end, send us a message on our little fan mail chat.
That's fine.
We won't call you a fan. Don't worry about it. We'll just be community board. Let somebody call me a fan. I'd be like,
yeah, right. I'm
not. No. See, I said that as bait because I knew you were going to respond that way. Look at you. Anyway, if you like this episode, go ahead and send it to someone you love. It is the best way to support us. It really means a lot. And if you did not like this episode, check back next week.
Yeah, buddy.
I don't know what it'll be, but it'll be something.
Some.
And it'll my birthday episode. So
oh, that's right.
It'll be a day after my birthday.
After, yeah.
So you best believe we're going to talk about it.
Yeah. For sure.
All right. Peace. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode, and we hope you loved it.
And if you could, please follow us on social media at 77 Flavors Shy on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitter.
If you have any ideas or deep dives that you'd love us to do, please contact us at media at 77 Flavors Shy. That's the number 77 Flavors and Shy for Chicago.com.
If you like visuals, please subscribe and follow and watch us on our YouTube channel at the same thing, 77 Flavors Shy, or search 77 Flavors of Chicago.
If you would like to support us monetarily, go ahead and click that Buzzsprout link in the description of this episode.
And as always, we gonna see you next week. Peace.